The next one is some kind of a string actually, but it has some usages. So the next one is going to be toString. So let's create our first example with the famous sum class. And so to demonstrate the basic usage, we're going to have the toString public function returning just a string. And the basic usage is that if you say new sum class and echo out the class, it's the object itself, and run it, you get the string. So what toString does is represent the class itself when it's called as an object, represent with what's inside of it. So I can think of one good example that maybe is near real world. Let's say we have a class named user. If you have worked with Laravel, you maybe heard of a thing named resources to actually return the data that you have worked on, maybe in an API or anything like that, return it as JSON representation. So basically what it actually does is like this. So let's say we have a data which is going to be retrieved from database or anything like that. We say sample gmail.com, and we have another one named name. We say it's Ellie. So first method that comes in mind is to have some kind of toJSON method that return simply JSON encode of our data. So this is okay. Let's have the class new user. Let's reformat this, and if we echo out the class toJSON method and we go index2.php index1.php, we get the JSON. But there is some debate that there is a more elegant way to do it, and that's with toString. So what we can do is to simply say return this to JSON, right? What is going to happen is that right now we don't need this, and if I run it, I get the same exact result. But what happened? What's our advantage using toString? So in OOP way of doing things, there is a debate that every class like this should have one unique representation without calling any junk methods, right? Because let's face it, when you are a developer and maybe you're joining a team, this user class can have tons of methods and you're not sure to use which one to get the JSON representation, or even maybe that representation is not entirely JSON or not entirely what you think it is. This way, what it's like is that you can simply call the object derived from that class and you get the representation. And the older developers, the elder ones, have developed or have extended or wrote the code in the toString method, or you can simply go straight up to the toString method and see what's going on. So another example, which is going to be our last example in this case, is fairly familiar with you if you are a developer and if you developed APIs. So let's say we have a user class, and here we have a user controller maybe, Obviously you're not putting all of your code in one file. I'm just doing as a tutorial. So let's say we have a public function to show the user, right? And the same exact problem is applied in here. We don't know what's going on in the user class. We don't know how the user is represented in that class. We don't know about properties, about methods and everything. All I have to do is return new user class. That solves all of my problem. And now if I have a user newed up from user controller, and let's actually comment this out, all I have to do to get the user is to echo the user, right? If I say index2.php, oh, I get the error. Why is that? Oh, I'm sorry. I have to call the show method actually, because the user from the controller is nothing. Okay, if I write this, I get the same exact result, and that's to my benefit, to my advantage, because I just wrote an API without any knowledge of what's going on in the user class, but I got the user data as JSON. I think it's cool. So yeah, this is pretty much it, the toString method.